find out where I'm at. And boy, do we have to pave our own path. We have been for the past, in my case, decade and a half. Based upon the information, the amount of knowledge I had at the time and have right now. I want to get to the point where I've achieved everything I've set out to do. That way I can be respected and loved. How can you be respected and loved if you're a loser? From my own personal experience, only winners are respected and only winners are loved. I want my children to be proud of me. I don't want them to be ashamed. I don't want my kids to have to accept that their father had to put all these years upon years, sometimes decades worth of work just to get the same results as others. In other cases, their father put in years of hard work into things just for them to never go anywhere. I want my kids to be proud of me. I first of all want to be man enough in order to attract a woman, which means I need to be a winner. I want my children to at least know that their father was the best at a couple of things. I don't want them to realize that all decades of consistent hard work was for nothing. That it wasn't for nothing. That I was the best at least in a couple of things. In writing and songwriting, which I will make a lot of money out of. I don't want my future wife and children to be ashamed of me and think the reason why he didn't become successful and make a whole lot of money and affect a whole lot of people's lives as well. I already affected a whole lot of people's lives when I was younger, but I never was able to make a career out of what I was doing. I don't want to be yet another Aspie. Aspie who's a loser. I want to be a success. Yes, you heard me right. I am an Aspie. I have Asperger's syndrome. I have been dealing with major social anxiety for my whole life, but I've always pushed through it. I have had to push through. I have felt anger, confusion, and frustration my whole entire life due to my Asperger's. I just want to be respected and loved. I'm sick and tired of being the peasant in my family. I'm sick and tired of having everyone look down upon me. I want to succeed. I want to be prosperous. I want to be respected. And I want to be loved. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you. So that's the end of chapter 8. Chapter 9 out of 11. This is 2 pages in this chapter. Chapter 9. Failure is a learning curve. Failure is a learning curve. My whole entire life has been rife with failure. Failure to fit in. Failure to make money off of my degree. Failure to have any successful relationship with a woman. And after all of my hard work, my victories go largely unnoticed. My victories mean nothing to anybody else because my victories are what neurotypical aka normal people do. Things like hold a full-time employment, hold conversations that contain a whole bunch of small talk, which I absolutely hate, but I am willing to do in order to fit in. In the years 2017 and 2018, I only watched the All Blacks in order to have an excuse to drink alcohol. Alcohol was one of my many coping mechanisms. In the year of 2016, my Xbox died, the death ring, so I didn't buy another console. I still have 3 games on my phone, 1 game now. But these games are of very low quality and are just distractions in order for me to calm myself down. In 2020, my rule for alcohol was only 1 drinking night each month, and not only and to only drink the same amount as I would on my average night. And in 2021, it was only to drink on occasions when I did things like getting out of overdraft or when I paid off some debt or saved up for something a bit pricey. In 2022, my goal was to maintain the same standards as 2021 until June the 2nd, 2022, and then no more. However, on Friday, the 26th of August, 2022, our workplace had some drinks on site straight after work, so I maintained composure and maintained control of myself, and I had 2 beers because I have been ostracized at most of my work environments. So I had 2 beers for that reason. I don't want to be ostracized because, one, I have to go there and work every day. I don't want to be the object of scorn like how I have been all my life in my group of origin. And I was also ridiculed at different times within different groups throughout my life. But other times I was not the subject or object of ridicule in those groups. And in the very occasional circumstance I would actually receive some recognition and or praise. Not not very often, but I cherished the few times I did. I remember I tried a whole variety of things in order to gain recognition, make money, become famous, and attract women. In translation, to gain respect and to earn the right to be loved. Because as I mentioned previously, I was not shown love and support while I was growing up. So at least I now know where it's coming from. And I don't desire to please any of my relatives or anyone else like that. Just a desire to prove them wrong and to prove myself right. That's even gone now. I just want to prove myself right. I know that they will never accept me, and neither will any other toxic human being. But I am proving that I can prove to myself so that not only I, but my loved ones in the future and all others that relate to me can be inspired and can be proud of everything I've achieved and will do. Everything I've done and will do. And know for a fact that they can do it or themselves. Whatever it or they are. Everybody has strengths and weaknesses, and it's our responsibility to find out what they are. Looking at the time, 20 past 1. I want to go to the gym, Some of mine are my intense focus on few specific topics, my resiliency, my imagination, my creative writing, which includes songwriting and books mainly, but I can do poetry as well. Now it's time for me to go and put my dinner and my lunch on to cook. It's 7:10 p.m. on Sunday the 28th of August 2022. Now I'm hungry. I'm back. I'll be writing for the next 20 minutes and then I'll go check it and so forth. Well, that was a nice little conversation with one of the Indian women that live in this vicinity. I have my sausages on the elements with my rice, some water, Madras curry paste from the Indian store, whilst dinner is chicken thighs and homemade wedges, which is just chopped up tomatoes. Which is just chopped up potatoes. I'll turn that into 2 or 3 sandwiches. Back to my strengths. I am a man of patterns. I have a very strong work ethic, and so on and so forth. I'm currently listening to a recording on YouTube by Terry Joel Jr. Go check that channel out. Go watch it. It's very good content. I don't watch it anymore, but it's all good. And when it relates to what you are going through and it's nothing new, it's great because you realise that you have become a chess player and you possibly have been for a very long time. And you've been unknowingly playing against checker players who went out of their way to hassle you. And you're just laughing at them after you finally realise what is going on because these checker players literally believed that they could trick you. Now let me check my food. Oh, that was a nice meal. I was just watching a classic wrestling match between the Dudley Boys versus Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman from ECW One Night Stand 2005. It's now 8:37 p.m. and I'm going to bed at 9 p.m. because I need to get up at 5:30 a.m. to catch a bus to the train to go to work. I failed as a professional wrestler and the police college was not for me because I wanted to fight for people's freedom. But if you don't follow and agree with the party in power, then they are paid to try and force the opinions of the party that is currently in power onto the people. Let me tell you something. I will sell these books, possibly even physical books. This was me last year. I've written Overcoming the Odds, which describes the struggles and the triumphs that I experienced in the first 30 years of my life. Although I viewed no contact from family as inherently wrong because they are family. There'll be another part.